inner child work is often a healing modality that will really help people, because ultimately anything that's activated in our system lives in another timeline. And so we are not generally, unless we're actively experiencing a trauma, experiencing our reactions are actually us time traveling from another timeline. And it's telling us that we are not healed or repaired. And so going back and identifying where we didn't have the emotional repair that we needed, where we processed things the best that we could, but they're not functioning and serving us. And going back all the way oftentimes to different iterations of our childhood when we didn't know how to do this. We didn't know any better, and maybe we didn't have caretakers who did that for us, is this inner child work. And so it's really noticing. A great exercise that we can all do together now is you can just simply put the phone down if that's where you're watching this. And just close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice, and to think about, conjure up in your mind some version of yourself from your past. And whatever comes to mind first, what I like to do is just have you intuitively find that version of yourself and really conjure that version up. It may be that a number and age just drops in. It may be that you can visualize yourself, and try to identify a version of you that struggled, that was hurt, that feels injured, and there is some repair needing. And so there will be a pain point in some point of your life, and we all have them, right? No matter who you are, you will be able to identify a point that you had emotions and pain show up in your life. And so if you close your eyes and you just travel back into whatever intuitively drops into your space, imagine yourself at that age. Maybe you imagine your childhood home or environments that you were in when you were a child that, frequently kind of you can remember, you can visualize, you can conjure up in your imagination. And go back into that timeline and connect with that version of you. And maybe you see other people in that space. Maybe you're alone. Maybe it's just after something has happened that you remember that is painful, that might be a memory that floats back, and you experience yourself feeling the same feeling again and again, even now in present day as your adult self. And so how old are you? Just notice, where are you? What are you wearing? What do you look like? What is your hair like? What is your hygiene like? Notice build this picture of yourself. Where are you in your childhood home, or outside, or in school, or are you with family or with friends? And just notice. And as you arrive there, really start to allow that emotional experience that you're having, that might be one that isn't happy or peaceful, but rather it's one where you're sad, or you're angry, or you're hurt, or you're in pain. And just allow that experience to come up, and allow the emotions to come with it. Allow yourself to really connect with that version of you, almost as if you're this adult version of you sitting across, as if you were standing at the doorway, watching this younger version of yourself have this emotional experience. Maybe you're watching it as an exchange, or maybe you're watching it just bubble up inside of you as you sit alone and process. And so just noticing all that is. What's the environment around you? Notice all the details. What might be significant, and allow yourself to notice and witness, observe yourself, but also have the experience of what emotions come up inside of you. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling it? What's just happened just a moment before that? What has happened consistently in your life where you're in this place that you're stuck and you really don't know how to fix it? and you're having a big emotional experience, and just let that wash over you and let yourself feel it. And you might start to notice, I call this tracking the energy. If you track the energy inside of you, you allow yourself to empathize with that smaller you. You notice, like, right away when I tap into this, I can feel this lump in my throat. Where are you feeling what you're feeling? What are you feeling? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you mad? Like, what is going on inside of you? And sensory wise, what are you experiencing physically in your body? And so allow yourself just to really let that bubble to the surface. Don't repress it, don't suppress it, don't ignore it, don't avoid it. Let yourself merge with that experience totally, so that you can remember, because your body's already remembering what you feel, but you can consciously remember what it was like to be in that experience. And then allow that empathy that you can have for yourself, as if you were witnessing yourself have this experience. What do you perceive that this smaller version of you needs? Once that experience is totally expressed and it's bubbled up and it's sitting right on the surface, or it's boiling over the surface and pouring out, what did you need in that moment that you didn't receive? This is what trauma is. This is how we get stuck in trauma cycles, because we didn't repair things or receive what we needed in the moment that we were experiencing them. We didn't have a caretaker come to us. We didn't know how to express ourselves in those ways. And so as you allow this to boil to the surface and really kind of bubble over, or just sit barely under the surface, or you feel it somatically in your sensory experience, right? I can tap into this lump in my throat and this emotion that lives there. Where do you feel it? Is it in your belly? Is it in your head? What are you feeling? Are you anxious? Are you shaking? What is happening? And then allow yourself to really merge so fully with that, where you can empathize, and only you can do this better than anyone could ever do for you, because you know exactly what that version of you is feeling. And so open your heart and really let that experience in, where you can then amplify this experience by merging with it, by empathizing, by practicing your empathy, right? In this way, if that's something you've disconnected from inside yourself or with others, what did this little one inside of me, this other version, what did they really need? And if I were to truly prioritize that in a way that nothing was more important than anything else that was going on in my life, this is the top priority. I'm going to attend and attune to this, and nothing matters, and I'm not leaving, and I'm not moving past it, and I'm not skipping over it until I've done that really, really well, and until it feels complete. And so just notice, what does that inner child need? What does that smaller version of you need? What does that little one need? Did they need a hug? Did they need certain words spoken to them? Did they need to be witnessed, to be seen, to be understood, to be empathized with? Did they need compassion or understanding or love, respect? What did they need in that moment that they didn't receive? And so just take a moment to really observe and think. If you go back to this experience you've had and you're fully allowing it to wash over you, what did that little one need? And then when it becomes clear, and just trust whatever comes through first. Whatever your instinct is probably exactly right. The first thing, don't think about it, feel it. Trust what comes through. And then just take a moment to give that to that little one, as if this were your child, or this were some innocent child that you saw, or some loved one that you have now in your life that you can identify with. What would you give to them? And then see yourself having this exchange and this experience, doing exactly that, and stay with it. Don't rush it. Don't skip over it in any way. Really fully give that until it feels complete. And so taking a moment just to do that now. And taking all the time that you need to do that. and see yourself going through whatever motions, whatever emotions you need to in order to fully attune, until that little one inside of you, and therefore that your adult self, feel repaired, right? It's a felt sense that you're watching for. It's a felt sense when it's like, okay, I can breathe a sigh of relief. My nervous system can relax. I don't need to protect myself anymore. I don't need to come up with strategies. I don't feel the emotion has been expressed and it's complete. And so it's really a felt sense that you're watching for, where, for example, this lump in my throat, right? That would just dissolve. It would die down and it wouldn't be as loud inside of myself as it was. It would shrink and it would feel calm and it would feel at peace. And so that's the felt sense that you're watching for. And you'll notice it because you can perhaps attune and identify it in that little one, but you'll physically, somatically feel it in yourself as well, right? It is this parallel process where, she is you and you are her. And so then we can sync these two up and bring it into the present timeline where we don't have to feel that any longer. And if that's done and it's done well, then you'll see some release. You'll see some relief in that little one, and you'll feel that relief, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, mental relief. It will lift and it will feel lighter. And then you can continue on, and really coming back to this and doing it as many times as necessary. Maybe that's enough to release it and provide relief in your life, and maybe more times approaching this will be necessary. And really every time it might be a different age, it might be a different version of yourself, it might be a different experience, but if we go back and we do it in this way, then that is how we bring ourselves, that little one, to wholeness. That is how we heal that little one. And in this quantum realm, there is no time and space, and so we collapse that, and therefore we become whole. That is how we heal past versions of ourselves, and therefore the present version of ourselves, and therefore the future version of ourselves, when we do this enough, so that all that is unsettled, all that is still injured, all that is not complete or whole becomes whole.